Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're having a great Friday the 13th. I hope for most of you, you don't freak out for the day's date because Lucky Friday the 13th is supposed to be a lucky day, not an unlucky day, just a little tidbit. I am Janice Thornton, an online personal trainer, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about inflammation, and is inflammation causing you to become fat or stay fat or develop diseases or things like that. And then I also wanted to talk about a little bit of what you can do to change that and how you can decrease inflammation in your body. Because it's actually super important when we can decrease inflammation in our bodies. So just to give a little bit of background about me, I have a master's degree in exercise physiology. I've been in the health and wellness industry for over 30 years. And have always enjoyed helping people live a healthier life, help people get off medications if that's applicable, and then just help people find their fit, find where they feel the healthiest, and realize that everybody's body is different, so everybody's body responds differently to different things, and to teach you how to just love yourself for who you are, and teach you how to be strong on the inside as well as the outside. So I've had an interesting career though. I have been in, like I said, health and wellness for over 30 years. I love to be active myself and work out. However, I did work in cardiac rehab for over 10 years. And then I was in pharmaceutical sales for over 14 years. So for me, I have a huge passion now to help people get off of medications as much as I can help them get off. And again, we do that with doctor's assistance as well. But today I want to kind of get into inflammation though, and what is inflammation, how it impacts our body, how it can be making you stay fat, and then different techniques and ways that you can help make yourself decrease that inflammation in your body. Because for myself, it was a huge impact on me as well when I finally figured out food-wise how to really decrease inflammation in my body. So first of all, to let you know, inflammation actually is a good thing that happens in our bodies some of the time. So for example, let's say you're walking down the street and you all of a sudden twist your ankle. You've hit a crack and you twist your ankle. Hey Nisha, nice to see you. So if you've twisted your ankle, ouch, it's gonna hurt. So we want our bodies to become inflamed at that point. We want our bodies to have the pain, have the heat, have the redness and swelling. That is a natural response for a body to happen. We want that to happen. However, we don't want our bodies to stay in that state. So when we have an acute injury, it's all good that we have an inflamed body, so that's okay. So the one thing that you don't want though, and I have little notes if you see me looking down, it's because I'm actually using some cheat sheets today because there's a lot of stuff to go over. But when we don't want inflammation is, or I want to talk about where does inflammation start. So inflammation really starts in your fat cells. So when you start gaining more fat, then you start developing more inflammation in your body. And obviously that is something that we don't want to do. And then what happens is when our body is metabolizing foods and whatnot, we have more glucose that's also delivered to those cells. So we have an increase in glucose into your cells that also increases your inflammation. So when you have inflammation increases in fat cell inflammation, that leads to an increase in insulin resistance. So then when you are insulin resistant, you are gaining yourself toward type 2 diabetes. And you definitely don't want to get type 2 diabetes. I used to work with a lot of diabetic patients, and one of my biggest goals with them was to always get them off as many meds as we possibly could. And the great thing about type 2 diabetes is the fact that it is reversible, but it's also preventable. So I have a very strong family history of diabetes. My mom has it. All of my 7 aunts and uncles have it. I have multiple cousins who have diabetes, type 2 diabetes. But the deal is, when you take charge of your health, you can actually control if you're going to get diabetes or not. But again, it's going to be up to you. But when you have an inflammation of fat cells, like I said, it increases insulin resistance, and that leads to the type 2 diabetes. But then this is where we also don't want inflammation, and that's in our brains. Think about it, your whole body is going to have inflammation in your body, so even your brain. And we have a very important hormone in our brain that's called leptin, and leptin actually controls our appetite and controls our hunger. And our metabolism. So when our leptin is controlled by the hypothalamus, and when the hypothalamus becomes resistant to leptin, therefore you're going to mess up your glucose and fat metabolism with that. It's going to be impaired, and then you're going to have the weight gain, and then insulin resistance starts to occur. And of course, that is not what we want to have happen. So let's get into what causes inflammation, and what can we do to stop the inflammation. So causes. So inflammation isn't great unless it's an acute injury, but the foods that we eat. So think about one of the worst foods that we eat, and I know you're all going to know what I'm about to say. However, we always typically choose not to do anything about it. Sugar is probably the number one ingredient that we really need to watch when it comes to inflammation. Sugar is put into so many foods, and I highly recommend that you read food labels, because you'll be shocked when you start flipping over those foods to realize how much sugar is in products. But processed foods, when you live out of a box, eating out of a box, that's going to be another really bad thing for your body. Your body can only process so many chemicals, and in processed foods there's just a ton of chemicals. And I promise you, again, flip over the box to read the label, and half of the ingredients you probably won't even know what they are, but they're just a bunch of chemicals that your body has to always be producing, and that puts a lot of stress on your liver to have to do that. But refined grains, the white flour, so when you see enriched white flour, that's definitely a product that you are going to want to stay away from. And then also, of course, saturated fats. Now, I'm not saying all fats are bad, because unsaturated fats are great for your diet, and a lot of people like to leave healthy fats out of their diet because they're afraid of fats, and they really shouldn't be. However, foods that are high in saturated fat, absolutely, you do want to reduce that as much as you can, because it does decrease inflammation in your body when you stay away from, like I said, the sugars, processed foods, refined grains, and saturated fats. But then another area where we don't have as much control in is the air that we breathe. The water that we drink are two big things that we can't really help what's in the air. For example, right now I've got fires going on in Northern California that's probably an hour and a half away from my house. However, today is actually a clear day, but when we landed on Wednesday from Seattle, it was crazy flying into Oakland, because you could just see all the brown, you could see all the toxins, and it was absolutely insane how dirty the air was. But even when you got off the plane, you could smell, it smelled like a campfire. It was, I knew what was going on, so it was actually horrible. But again, we can't always control what is in our air. So therefore, we have to make sure that we're helping our body as much as we can decrease that toxic load. Same with the water, but then also skincare products that you use. You want to make sure that you don't have products that have a bunch of chemicals in them. The cleaning products that we use, or even laundry soap and the stuff that what are they called? Dryer sheets that you put into the dryer. You want to make sure that you stay away from the dryer sheets that have chemicals in them, like Bounce and Snuggle and all of those. If you have allergies, go get rid of that stuff right away, and you'll probably reduce allergens significantly. So causes of inflammation, so far we've talked about our food, and then air we breathe, the water we drink, and then cleaning supplies and skincare. So with all this tongue-tied. With all of this inflammation, there's over 100 different diseases that will form because of inflammation. It's very sad. So our arteries become inflamed. Guess what? We lead to heart disease, stroke, and then also diabetes as well. And we want to stick away from that. But then also it can lead to joint pain, anxiety and depression with an increase in inflammation as well. And I can attest for sure for joint pain. I played tennis for 25 years, from 9 to 35, so 36 years. And anyway, so what I thought when I quit was, I thought, oh my God, it's just because I ran around a tennis court for all those years, and man, my knees hurt like heck. I remember when I was 35 years old thinking, what are my knees going to be like when I'm 50? I can't even walk up and down stairs today. What the heck is my life going to be like when I'm 50? The great thing is I'm 50 today, and I can run up and down stairs, and I don't have the pain that I had 15 years ago. And I guarantee you it was because of the way that I changed the way I ate, and then also the way I supplement my body. So, and it was crazy to me to think that, oh my gosh, just changing the way that I ate would actually decrease the way my body feels and how stiff. Now, I will say this, going up and down stairs, you can still hear my knees go up and down stairs. However, I don't have the knee pain that I used to have. Like literally I had to hang on to the railings and help myself down any flight of stairs because it hurt too much to actually go down a flight of stairs. And I hated that. And even 7 years ago when we moved to Scottsdale, I looked at 77 homes before we found the one that we wanted to buy. And when I finally found it, or I will say this, some of the homes that we walked into had stairs. So the first thing I would do is, let me run up and down the stairs to see what my knees do. And I'd run up and down, be like, nope, we can go because it hurts too much. There's no way I can even do this. So for the last 20 years, my husband and I have always had a one-story house. So now that we've moved to California, I haven't been so lucky. I have a house that actually has a stairwell. Here's the great thing. I can go up and down those stairs though without any pain. And that's what's awesome. And I'll share with you in a little bit what I do to help with that and why I can do it today. Just a few more things. When you have a really inflamed gut, if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, it inflames your gut, and therefore your immune system is going to be affected. 70% of your immune system lives in your gut, and so taking care of your gut is so important. And so for those people who have IBS, food sensitivities, autoimmune diseases, people who are obese, this is where the inflammation really, gosh, if you can start decreasing it, I guarantee you're going to help start losing some weight. And also, leptin and insulin resistance affects your gut health as well. So, and that's not something that we want. So what can you do about it to improve decreasing your inflammation? Because there are things that you absolutely can do. And this is where I've changed the way that I eat, and then my supplementation as well. So of course, decreasing sugar as much as you can. And this is the easiest thing that you can do. At the same time, it's one of the hardest things to do. I actually ran into a lady yesterday. I met her for the first time, and she was telling me she can't walk past any kind of dish that's filled with chocolate in it. She goes, I will grab some. I just can't. And I told her, I said, you know something, you're right. If you think you can't make any changes, you're right. However, if you think you can make changes, then you can make some changes if you want it bad enough. However, that's up to you to decide if you actually want to make those changes bad enough. So does that mean quit sugar altogether? No, because in my mind, you should always decrease slowly if you want to give up something instead of trying to go cold turkey, because that's when you really get those cravings and all that kind of stuff. But work out some ways that you can make some deals with yourself. Like for the lady I met yesterday, she still had to go call on 10 accounts. And I said, so out of those 10 accounts, how many of them are going to have this chocolate? She goes, all of them. And I said, will you have chocolate in every single one? She's like, yes. So she'd already made the decision. But then I said, what if you only had chocolate at 8 of those places and you ignored 2 of them? She's like, oh, well, never thought about that. I'm thinking, okay, I said, let's start small. Start with baby steps of reducing how much chocolate you're going to have today. Because you've already told yourself 10. However, what if you got yourself to go to 8? How proud would you feel? And she's like, I would feel great. So, it's things like that. So reducing sugar is definitely one of the things that you want to do. Increase the amount of fish that you eat. Grilled fish for sure. Try to stay away from the fried fish. All my friends up in Wisconsin, I know we've got the fish fries every Friday. I know. But if you can switch it over to the grilled, that would be better. Eating lean meats definitely will decrease your inflammation in your body. And then limit white flour-based products, the crackers, tortillas, bread. Again, I don't keep any bread in the house. And that's the way that I not eat that kind of stuff, is I keep it out of the house. However, when I go out to dinner, especially if it's an Italian restaurant, I'm going to have a piece of bread. So I still have some, just not as often as I used to. Increase the amount of quinoa that you eat. There's some good carbs that you do want to eat. Quinoa, brown rice, sweet potatoes, and then lots of veggies, and then fruit as well. And then increasing your unsaturated fats is fine. Again, watch your saturated fats, but like avocados and nuts, awesome to add to the diet unless you're allergic, of course, and then stay away. But again, like I said, make sure that you read labels. I was just in the airport the other day and I was going to grab a yogurt, and I picked up and read the label, and I was just like, oh my God, this is equivalent to at least 2, if not 3 candy bars. It had 58 grams of sugar in it, and I didn't look at how many servings were in that container, so I don't know if it was really 2 or 3 full candy bars. So I did put it back because I was like, no, I'm not going to eat 58 grams of sugar in one little yogurt. Can't do it. So for me, what has really helped though is changing my diet and eating healthy 80% of the time. Eating lean meats. I eat a lot of lean meats, fish, fruits and vegetables are my main staples. And I do eat avocados. I eat whole eggs. I also eat egg whites. I try to just keep myself healthy 80% of the time. And then I've also added in what is called Super Mix or Smart Mix. And these have what's called Moringa oleifera in there. So I don't like to swallow pills. It's not my cup of tea. I have lots of supplements that are in pill form and I don't take them just because that means I have to swallow it. So this is perfect for me because I get 92 vitamins and minerals every single day when I drink this. And it's green. I'll tell you, it's green when you drink it, but I will say it tastes awesome. Like the Smart Mix has a prebiotic in it, so it helps set your gut up to do some great digestion. And then the Super Mix has twice the amount of moringa in it. So you're just getting some great nutrients. And when you give your body the nutrients that it needs, your body is amazing. The cells will take in all these nutrients and start healing itself. Your body heals itself when given the right environment. So I do love these 2 products that I take. I take one of them every single day. If you don't like the way that it looks, you can always throw it into your shake and then get the nutrients that way. And then the other thing that I love to drink in the morning, if I'm not having, I love scrambled eggs in the morning with veggies in it. That's my breakfast a lot of the time, but otherwise I do the plant protein, which is all plant-based. And so you get 20 grams of protein with the moringa. And the cool thing is you get 9 essential amino acids with this as well. But this is gluten-free, soy-free, and vegan also. So your body loves plants and the way that your body will absorb and really help you let your body heal itself. So these are the things that have really helped me in decreasing inflammation, maintaining my weight, and feeling great. Giving me energy, mental clarity, and all those things that people are looking for. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. I would love to hear what you thought about today's talk. And then also thank you so much for getting on. I really appreciate that as well. So I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. I'm in California, so I hope to stay warm in the mornings and enjoy the days. But have a great weekend this weekend, wherever you are. Talk to you later. Bye.